puts them over the top to win the Super Bowl, and we wind up spending all year long talking about the team that made the decision to let him go, like we did with the Giants a year ago, and now we will do with the Cowboys this year. Is Micah this year's Saquon?
Said a lot right there. I will say not only is he the Saquon Barkley, but if the Packers were Thanos in the Avengers, Micah Parsons is the final Infinity Stone.
What he said.
Okay, perfect. Next one. Let's talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. Everyone talks about Aaron Rodgers. What is your big take on the Steelers?
The Steelers defense is on fraud alert.
Once again, I'm going to have to agree with Will Compton. You spent $179 million on your defense. You're going to have to go to the IRS and indict them for money laundering. What's going on out there?
Well, I mean, who are they and what have they done with the Steelers? They have all these players whose names we know. They've been great. These same guys have been great. What has happened there?
Greeny, $179 million. You're bottom 5 in the categories of total yards, scoring defense. You're not getting a lot of sack production. I think they're 25th in sacks right now. Like, across the board, $179 million. That's the most. You can ask Shefty, that's the most spent on defense, and not a whole lot of production. A bottom 5 defense right now.
And so now what it adds up to is they're asking Aaron Rodgers to carry a team when all we thought he was going to have to do was play average, and they would be able to carry him. Didn't you pick them to win the division this year?
Unfortunately, at this point, it's not looking like my pick is going to go very well. They're not running the offense that Arthur Smith wants to run. They want to run play action. They want to move the pocket. They want to run the ball. They're unable to do all three of those things right now. Aaron Rodgers, 42 years old, can't sit back 7-step drops over and over again and just win you games like he used to.
And another stat on the $179 million on defensive side. Through the first 2 weeks, they lead a league high 18.2% of a missed tackle rate. That leads the league.
So the Steelers have been a bit of a mess. You mentioned Stafford. That's because they're playing the best game in the NFC this weekend. Rams and Eagles, rematch of what was a really good playoff game a year ago. Compton, who do you like?
This is it. Rams are taking down the Eagles at Philadelphia.
I agree with that statement as well. The Eagles are the bottom of the league when it comes to passing offense. And on the defensive side of the ball, whoever's on the opposite side of Mitchell is an absolute liability on their defense. No one does a better job than Matthew Stafford under pressure. He's going to get the ball, whether it's Puka Nacua or Devontae Adams. They're going to make it happen this week. I love the Rams and Lincoln.
Now, the scary part, over the last 11 games for the Rams, their two losses, their only 2 losses, have both came from the Philadelphia Eagles. Saquon Barkley, I think 255 yards in the first game, 196 in the second game. However, they have a top 5 pass defense. I think they're going to shut that down. It's all about stopping the run. And if I know Sean McVay, he's going down there. He's playing injured with some,
plantar fasciitis.
You had that.
Plantar fasciitis. Yes, I've had it a couple times in my day. But he's going to make sure every part of his body, mind and soul, is going to stop the run.
You want to get a team to come together, watch their coach play hurt. That's what is the big game changer.
If the Rams do go in there and beat the Eagles, by the way, a 1 o'clock kick on the East Coast, which is always tough for a West Coast team. If they do go in there and beat them, what statement will they be making?
That they're up there with the Packers in the NFC, and maybe the Eagles are actually number 3.
Fair. That was very well said.
I mean, the Rams are that good. When we talk about the big teams and the Rams, is that who we should be talking about?
I'm hesitant on putting them in the level of the Packers or the Bills, the Ravens, but
NFC.
Oh, NFC.
Yeah.
My fault.
NFC.
Put it 2.
Packers. But yes, I can put them at 2.
Okay, you guys wait here. Let me get the guys in on this conversation.
Yes,
let's talk about this for a minute here. If the Rams go in there, Shefty, set the table for this game for us, because he just mentioned a stat that I thought was really interesting. In their last 11 games, the Rams are 9-0 against everybody else, but they've lost twice to the Eagles. So this is a huge test, I think, on both sides. Set the game up for them.
They've also struggled to stop Saquon Barkley when it mattered most in the 2 games they met last year. And yet Saquon Barkley hasn't rushed for 100 yards in either of the first 2 games. At the risk of upsetting Philadelphia Eagles fans even more this week, the Eagles right now, offensively, are middle of the pack. They're not really moving the football the way they did last year. They are flawed right now, as well as they played, and the fact that they are 2-0. The Rams are the team that nobody talks about in the NFC. We talk about how great the Eagles are. We talk about how great the Lions are. We talk about how great the Packers are. Nobody brings up the Rams in that conversation. This is the chance the Rams have to make a statement that they belong in the conversation with some of these other NFC heavyweights.
So I opened the show today by saying all this talk about the tush push, it's masking what has been their real problem. Cindy, can you put C24 up there? There have been 33 different quarterbacks who have started a game this year so far, because the 49ers have started 2. The only one of them that hasn't thrown a touchdown is Jalen Hurts. Now, he's been great when called upon. He's completed 75% of his throws, but he's only averaging 126 yards per game. Dan and Hawk, this kind of brings me back a little bit to last year. Remember, we were talking so much about their passing game struggles, and A.J. Brown is reading books, and all of that gets completely forgotten when you go on the run they do and they win the Super Bowl. But I guess I would ask, Hawk, starting with you.
Yeah.
Do you think their lack at this point of a passing game will wind up becoming a problem?
I don't think it will be a problem in the long term. I think early on, specifically in this game, it will be an issue because of how they match up with the Rams. When you look at this Eagles offense, and last year, to your point, Greeny, we had this conversation early in the season. They had a new offensive coordinator. They're trying to figure things out. It seems the approach this year is more efficiency. Hey, we're getting the ball out quick. We're running the football. We're not taking unnecessary risks, and we're going to win the turnover battle. They're 2-0, so you can't argue that. But going against the Los Angeles Rams, they're going to put points on the board, and those opportunities that the Chiefs and the Cowboys lost by throwing the ball deep, they're going to hit on them because Stafford, Nacua, Adams are on a different level right now.
They got to get more out of A.J. Brown in the pass game. We can say and have the respect necessary, and that has been earned by the Eagles and the deserve, that we're not doubting them or whatnot, but we can also go to this year and go, A.J. Brown's got 3 yards after the catch. 3? A.J. Brown last week against the Chiefs ran the same route 10 times. They line up A.J. Brown 4 yards outside of the numbers. He runs up 5 yards, and he runs a short in or a slant route. He just runs an in breaker. So as a defense, we're making it easy on him. I mean, these are all the same routes by A.J. Brown. And for everybody who's like, if you're killing the defense, I get it. Like, make them stop you. But if you're not killing the defense, which you weren't doing, then there's got to be more. We got to get AJ more vertical, crossing the middle of the field, deeper on his routes. And I sit there and I'm watching the pass game, and I understand you won the game. Yes, no doubt.
Sure.
But we're running the same route every time. We're not paying A.J. Brown $30+ million to run 5 yards down the field and run an in breaker to get 8 yards.
The issue is they're not strengthening that muscle. At some point, you're going to have to throw the ball down the field.
And we've seen them do
And we've
that.
seen them do it,
Totally.
absolutely. But in this year, football is a development game. You have to get the reps at it. You have to make sure that your team is confident. You have to make sure
They're
your
on the
coaches
same
are
route.
confident that you have the ability to play any game that's necessary to win. Right now, they haven't shown it because they haven't had to. But against the Los Angeles Rams, if they're not pushing the ball down the field, they will lose this game.
There's also the reality, Saquon's 3rd in the NFL in carries. He's 9th in yards. He's averaging something like 3.4 yards per carry. Last year it was north of 5.5.
Yeah.
So there hasn't really, through 2 games, been anything offensively that has stood out. They're 2-0. There's no panic. They've earned the right to have us to sit there and say they'll work their way through it.
How about on the other side of it, Matthew Stafford right now, people don't necessarily pay enough attention to it when we talk about the best quarterbacks in the league, and this is not to diminish anything about those guys, but you always mention Josh and Lamar, and you mention Patrick Mahomes. Shouldn't Matthew Stafford's name be in that conversation? Is anyone playing better than he's playing?
No.
For whatever reason, he's overlooked. And to me, one day he's going to go to the Pro Football Hall of Fame. He's led a team to a Super Bowl victory. He's got passing records. He's got marks. He's finding his targets. He's got great rapport with Devontae Adams right now. Puka Nacua has been one of the best receivers in the league this season. They're moving the ball in the air, on the ground. Again, this is a chance for this team to make a statement that they belong in that conversation.
With the picks up on the screen there, and you heard the Bussin' with the Boys guys both like
Hello?
the Rams to win the game this weekend. Yeah. What was it you said this morning about Puka Nacua?
Puka Nacua is playing at a different level than every other receiver in the NFL right now. And on top of that, his chemistry with Matt Stafford is a thing of beauty. No one's playing as fast. No one's being as efficient. You get the ball in space, he's big, he blocks, he can run after the catch, he can run before the catch, he can get out of his break quicker than even some of the smaller receivers.
Puka's the best receiver in football that no one says the best receiver in football. And he's that good. If we want to have the conversation with Jamar and Justin, Puka's right there. And Sean McVay's as good as anybody finding matchups and finding weaknesses of the defense and attacking it. He is going to formation and motion and shift Puka to get him away from Querim Mitchell and attack Adoree Jackson, and you're going to see 12, 15 targets of those deep in breakers or crossing routes by Puka.
And what you get with Puka is better than what you'll get from the next receiver. He's the number one guy, not Devontae Adams. And Adams is great, and he's playing well, and he's getting his rapport down with Stafford. But make no mistake, Puka Nacua is their number one.
This is
far
also
away.
the most diverse offense in football, the Rams. They're doing stuff offensively no one else is doing in the NFL. No one.
And as a quick final thought on that, I just found myself trying to go through in my head their division. That division is pretty good. But the NFC West, people don't talk much about it. I think Seattle is better than people. I watched them manhandle the Steelers this weekend. The Seahawks look pretty good. 49ers are 2-0 in there. I mean, they're like a mash unit. They're all injured. And here are the Rams with a chance to knock off the Eagles. It's a pretty tough division.
And the Cardinals are also 2-0.
The Cardinals, that's exactly right.
Don't forget the Cardinals. They've been pretty good this year as well.
Yeah, and with Kyler, we'll see if he's able to keep it going.